Welcome to Action Coach's Business Spotlight Series. I'm Rich Wainwright, business coach, trainer and speaker. And today I'm really pleased to be shining a spotlight on Matt Kelly from The Filling Station. Welcome to the series, Matt.
Thanks very much.
Brilliant. Well, to get us going, please could you tell us about your business?
So the Filling Station is a state-of-the-art craft beer concept that I launched 18 months ago. It's a converted 40-foot shipping container that houses a state-of-the-art craft beer tap wall, 10 different draft beers, all available to take away in 1 and 2 litre US-style growlers. So it's on a small retail park on the outskirts of St Ives. Our customers can order online. They can simply drive up to our door, come in, choose a beer, or just order online and collect it at the door. We also have a huge can wall stocking over 150 different UK breweries. We champion UK brewing, it's been a fantastic 18 months. It's a really novel new concept. We're tucked away between a drive-through McDonald's and a drive-through Costa, so that kind of drive-through ethos of our business kind of links in with other businesses on the park, and it's something new and something really different that St Ives hasn't seen before.
Oh, fabulous. For our international viewers, this is the real St Ives in Cambridgeshire, not that one down in the southwest on the tip of Cornwall.
Yeah.
It was very confusing for me as a northerner moving down to Cambridge and seeing that on the signs.
To St Ives, yeah.
Absolutely. So brilliant. So 18 months, what were you doing before this, and then what was the catalyst to
So I was at Carlsberg for 23 years, lots of different roles, lots of different areas. Then I kind of always in the on-trade. I moved into national sales, managed big national customers in kind of brewers, so people like Fuller's, Shepherd and Neame, Liberation. Then I moved on to national sales, dealt with a lot of multiple retail groups and big national customers, everyone from Wetherspoons to Enterprise Inns. And then my most recent role, I was head of HoReCa, so head of hotel, restaurant and catering division within Carlsberg. So again, managed a lot of casual dining chains, hotel chains. So always in the on-trade. But I noticed a trend in change in people's drinking habits. So people were drinking at home a lot more. They wanted a higher quality craft beer. They were big fans of local beers, and they loved draft. And no one was really doing that well. And I'd worked closely with people like Box Park, and I was aware of how they operated with shipping containers, and I'd seen how they could be turned into retail units. I'd also seen in the US the popularity of growler stations. So I put the kind of 2 and 2 together and looked at the trend and then designed the filling station concept. Left Carlsberg in April 2021. Set the company up, and then we launched we launched in May that year.
Yeah, and I suppose again for international viewers, a filling station is what in generations gone by we refer to as a petrol or a gasoline station. So the direct play on that name, yeah?
Yeah, the play on that name, the whole refill thing, it's a more sustainable way of buying your beer. Refilling the same container uses 60% less CO2 and water than buying cans from a supermarket. So it's a greener way of buying your beer. And that whole refill revolution is something that's quite big in the UK.
Yeah. So going back 18 months, that puts us into the middle of 21.
Yeah.
So not quite a COVID baby.
No, off the back of the pandemic. So we launched kind of end of May, and people were just coming out of hibernation. So it was good timing for us because they were still quite nervous about going back to pubs. And they were just, still drinking at home a fair amount, but they still wanted that quality experience, which is what our business model delivers: high quality craft beer to drink at home, or wherever you want to drink it.
Yeah, the question has some context to it, obviously, with the amount of time you're in the industry. How long were you in the planning and development and the research phase for this?
Quite a long time. So I'd been working on this project for a long time while I was at Carlsberg. I had this trend in my mind, and I'd been shaping this proposal. And then just a lot of industry changes and market changes really shaped it and brought it to fruition. And the pandemic was one of them, but there was a lot of other things that shaped it. So a long time. And then even towards the end, it was a good few years.
Yeah. One of our previous interviewees, business owners, said there's never a right time to get going, just get going.
Yeah.
Was it a case for you perhaps that, or how much of a case was it that the stars just aligned enough to make it a go, rather than it just getting to a point of, you know what, I'm just going to force this and make it happen?
No, it kind of naturally aligned and naturally fitted. And then you could see the various other big operators looking at this kind of concept. And that was the trigger for me. If I didn't do it then someone else was likely to do it. So fortunately, we were still the first to market with, you know, this filling station concept is the first of its kind in the UK. So we did beat the big competition to do it in this way. So yeah, it was a gentle push to get on with it.
Fabulous. So 18 months in, what's your role within the organisation now, and perhaps how might that have changed over the 18 months since you went live?
Yeah, so I'm owner and founder. I'm still very hands-on with the business. We have a very small team. I have a full-time manager in there who runs the place, but I'm in there kind of working shifts, and so I'm still very, very hands-on with it. At the start, it was all me from the very start. It was literally me and friends and family helping out from launch day. But then now I've taken more of a step back. So we're launching an events business. I'm out kind of looking at other growth projects. So we've got a number of different projects on the go, and me getting this events business off the ground is taking up a lot of my time. So I'm not in there as much now. I'm still in there, you know, doing the odd shift per week, but the bulk of my time is spent on business development and kind of growing these other revenue streams that we're looking at.
Fabulous. And so you say you're first to market. I'm sure there'll be some competitors breathing down in fairly soon. So what would you say is, or perhaps will, differentiate you? What is it that you're good at? Perhaps without giving it too much away, your secret. Yeah.
I think we're good at wowing our customers and staying close to our customers and sticking true to our purpose. I mean, our purpose has always been to get people drinking better beer. I mean, I tried these beers when I was at Carlsberg, and you know, they blew my mind. And you know, suddenly there's this awakening that beer should taste like this. And for years we've been, you know, not lied to, but kind of conditioned to drink. You know, beer's been treated as a commodity in supermarkets, and it's all been brewed to taste very similar. Whereas, you know, craft beer's got real flavor, and these brewers are given free rein to make amazing beer. And that is the nugget. So it's sticking true to our purpose of getting, you know, making craft beer available to everyone, and staying close to our customers. You know, we listen. We're very close to our customers. We do a lot on social media. We have a lot of kind of feedback sessions. We have a Discord. You know, so just staying close to our customers and understanding what they want and wowing them with creative solutions, and not just doing the norm. You know, we've made a name for ourselves for doing things pretty differently at the filling station. So shaking things up a bit. And I think that is, you know, that's refreshing, and it sticks in people's minds and builds your brand. So yeah, sticking to those values is going to make us stand out from the competition.
Great stuff. And what would you say have been some of the biggest challenges that you've overcome along the way?
It's been tough. Launching a business in the last 18 months is, if you can launch a business then, you can launch a business anytime. I think it's, the market conditions, the obvious market conditions have been a challenge, you know, changing people's disposable income. We're a premium product, and it's, you know, even though beer is usually pretty bulletproof in recessions, this has been the biggest test. People's drinking habits, you know, people are drinking less, which is great, and people are moderating. So there is a kind of downturn in alcohol consumption. And then we just had it's just been loads of different events that have happened within the shop that have been a challenge. I mean, early on in our business, we got hacked. Our business account got hacked early on, so we lost pretty much all of our money in 1 month during early launch, which was a big problem to overcome. So there's been, you know, the usual ups and downs along the way, but yeah, we've weathered the storm so far.
That's always great to hear. And what have been some of the biggest wins along the way, and perhaps maybe some unexpected or surprising ones?
We've won a few awards in that short space of time. So we won gold at the Huntingdonshire SME Awards for best customer service, which was really early on in our life cycle, which was really encouraging. So we have that screwed to the bar center stage as you come into the shop. We got to the finals of the FSB East of England Awards for Startup Business of the Year. So we got down to the final few for that, which was really encouraging. And we're now down to the final 3 nationally for Independent Beer and Cider Retailer of the Year. at the Drinks Retailing Awards 2023, which are like the drinks industry Oscars. They're the big ones. So we're off to the Dorchester Hotel at the beginning of February, and we find out on the night whether we've won. So those awards have been phenomenal, and we'll probably say our biggest achievement.
Fantastic. I'm sure you've not got many people wanting to come with you to the Dorchester for the beer and cider.
No, just the small team. That's
Thought of anyone? You got my number.
Yeah. Yes.
That's great as well. I love it when clients enter awards, because winning's obviously fantastic. But what I love about it is how it sharpens the thinking in terms of actually writing the award, writing the submission for it. And it makes you realize all the great things you've done along the way, because a lot of business owners can just, it's a win and then they move on, a win and move on, a win and move on, without really celebrating it. And that's a great way of doing it.
Yeah, you take a step back. Take a step back and just really think about what you've achieved. It's a moment. You realize you've achieved a lot. It's good.
Yeah, and just on that celebration theme, are you a celebrator of small wins, medium wins, big wins?
No, we do. We celebrate every win as a team. Yeah, it's really important. It's too easy to get lost in the day job and kind of bogged down with problems and the day-to-day running. So we do. Yeah, we celebrate everything. I think you have to when you're a small business in the current climate. So yeah, we make a big thing of celebrating even small wins.
Music to my ears.
Internally and externally, we shout about it a lot on social media as well. So. It's not just an internal thing. We make a lot of noise externally.
Brilliant. And in terms of learnings, then, what have been some of your biggest learnings? You're coming out of a relatively big corporate, shall we say?
It's a challenge. It's been a massive challenge. You've got to be ready to go back to basics. Like everything goes. The company car goes, the healthcare goes. You're back to scrubbing toilets, doing deliveries, cleaning the beer lines. Back on a salary I was on when I was 21. It's a different. You've got to be ready for everything to change. So that was a big challenge. In terms of learnings, surrounding yourself with a good team early on, so knowledgeable people that are aligned to your culture, I think is really, really important. What else? Get a mentor. I got a mentor in the last couple of months, and that's been fantastic. Someone that you can, bounce big decisions off, just kind of sense check things. That's been really encouraging for me and has helped a lot. So yeah, that would be the kind of major.
Mentor from your industry, therefore?
No, completely outside. So I wanted someone who wasn't in beer, who was, an established in business, but not beer specific. I didn't need advice on the beer market. I needed advice on the kind of wider business practices. So it was really important that they came from a different industry.
Yeah, no, completely concur with that one as well.
Yeah.
Right. I love this question. So far, I've not had someone turn around and say, I'd fired a lot and start again, which is probably a fair reflection of the wonderful people that I've got involved in this so far. But if you could start again today, what would you do differently? Apart from securing that money.
It's what, sorry?
Apart from get some better security from those hackers. Yeah, no,
I would change. It changed the format. It's very business specific. I would change the format of the building. We're very much a takeaway shop, and we don't have a drink-in space, which has been somewhat limiting. And you lose a revenue stream not being able to run in-house tastings, and we're doing them but on a small scale. So I would do it with an additional kind of drink-in space. That would give us a much-needed lever to pull. Because at the moment we can only do events in the summer because we can only use our beer garden in certain months of the year. Otherwise, we're very limited because we're a 40-foot shipping container to internal space. So I would have a bigger space on launch. I would look at the funding differently. You need way more money than you think. I launched this with. I did a funding round. We got SEIS assurance, and I did a funding round. But I used kind of family and friends. But yeah, I'd probably look at the funding in a different way, and just get bigger funds for the amount of equity I'm giving away.
That's always the trade-off, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just to give us a feel for, when I say you've mentioned the size of the shipping container. Is that kind of the regular sort of shipping containers you see on the motorways and
pretty much? They're kind of 15. They go in a number of different sizes: 15 foot, 20 foot. Mine's a 40 foot. So yeah,
they're as big as they get, or is there much bigger?
Yeah, 40 foot's as long as they get. They do get higher. You can get a high line, which is slightly higher, but 40 foot's as long as they get. But they're very versatile. I mean, it's it's insulated. It's great. It looks like a proper shop.
Yeah, you see them a lot at festivals on the back of a truck.
Yeah,
yeah. That was the first time I sort of spotted the BWS version of a shipping container conversion. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. No, brilliant. And you mentioned cider. I'm on my way. So thank you for that, Matt. That's a bit of a look at the past. Let's have a little bit of a look at the future. So what opportunities do you see ahead of you?
Expansion. I'm looking for another location. So we are looking for other locations. So similar market town, retail parks within or just outside of the county of Cambridgeshire. So we're on the lookout for that. That extra space that I spoke about, we have got planning permission in for an additional smaller container to go onto a piece of land directly adjacent to us where we will build an indoor drinking space. Yep. So expanding the current location and looking for another site, other priorities. But we're also exploring a few other growth partners. So there's some other partners we're talking to nationally about doing a smaller version of the filling station with them in some shape or form.
Yeah,
which is quite exciting. And then the outside events business is a big focus for this year. So we put a toe in the water last year, started doing a few outdoor events, and this year we're going to really scale that up. So building a calendar of events for the year ahead.
Brilliant. And what about some of the challenges you foresee?
Legislation's a big one. I mean, it's always a highly kind of legislative market. There's alcohol. It gets fairly complex. There's the duty relief scheme, which is coming later this year. I know the legislation is still being looked at by the government, but the current draft of that has a lot of complexities in it and makes this industry even more challenging, with a lot more hoops to jump through, especially for independent bottle shops. So that is a concern. We've been working closely with Cider to try and help steer the government in the right direction, but that is a concern because it would massively impact what we do. So that's a big one. Always kind of acquisitions. So seeing the bigger players, your likes of Heineken and picking up the smaller independents and limiting consumer choice. This is a really exciting marketplace, the craft beer marketplace, because these small independent breweries have free reign to make amazing beers. When you see them mopped up by bigger players, they just become generic brands again, and it loses its individuality, and there's less consumer choice. So that's a massive concern, because it's a great marketplace and the beers are amazing, but the legislation it's killing a lot of these breweries. And Brexit has meant that a number of them cannot export anymore. So there's a lot of revenue streams that they all once had that are being shut down. So that's a massive concern.
Yeah, the rate of closure of pubs.
Yeah, I mean, pubs and craft breweries, it costs, all the usual kind of energy bills and all of that. But yeah, legislation is and acquisitions is a biggie.
Gotcha. And what do you think you might need to change within you yourself or within your business to overcome these challenges or to realize these opportunities?
I just think having, being able to be flexible and innovate and having a lot of projects on the go. So we tend to have, a number of things on the go. So if something changes, as it does on a daily basis, you can just pivot quite quickly and do something else. I mean, the business that you start out with, might not be the business you end up with. We're already starting to see that. I mean, we've evolved into delivery, we're evolving into outside events. We're looking at these other growth partners, which, if successful, will take us in a completely new direction. So it's having that flexibility to pivot and change really quickly, I think, is important. And staying close to your customers. We're big advocates of that. So really listening to what they want and being able to change and meet their, they create your business, so it's that important. They're the major things for us.
Fantastic. So as we start to draw towards a close, let's have a little check-in on sort of mindset. What comes to mind when you think about success?
Having 10 or so filling station sites across the UK. So I'd love to see, 10 different locations up and running, be it in a smaller format with another UK partner, or the same size format that we have. That combined with me spending a good amount of time with my family, that's the picture of success. So that balance of 10 sites running, but not me racing around the country running them all, me spending a good amount of time at home with my family as well. That's my image of success.
Yeah, yeah. I love the adage, how do children spell love? And a business, it's an action coach adage as well. Business should give you life.
Yeah.
A lot of business owners, they've swapped a job for a longer hour job with less pay.
Yeah, completely. That's yeah. But it's, it'll come in the end. It's worth it.
Brilliant. So what do you find inspiring?
Creativity. I love coming up with creative solutions to age-old problems. I find that really inspiring, and seeing the results of that. So seeing customers engage with my brand is really inspiring. So, the feedback we get on social media when we put events on, seeing people really engaging with the brand and enjoying what we've created, I find particularly inspiring. But yeah, especially if we've done it in a creative way.
Fabulous. And my big question, say to anyone thinking of going into business.
I go back to that earlier point I made around just be ready to go completely back to basics. Everything changes way more than you think it's going to. And it's very, very challenging. So just have that in your mind, that everything is going to change and you're going to have to adapt and do, jobs that you didn't think you were going to have to do, because you do have to do absolutely everything. We're still 18 months in, and I'm still, I was down there this morning fixing burst pipes. It's a daily challenge. It's an enjoyable challenge. Yep. I love the process, and I love being in it and being part of it. But yeah, everything changes. So just be ready for that.
Super. Well, Matt, that's fantastic. I've really enjoyed it. I'm sure our viewers will too.
No, thank you very much.
Obviously, I'll be putting all your contact details around all the platforms that we share this on. Are you on the lookout for any or all of the following? Great team members, great suppliers, great customers, great partners, great VC angels.
Yeah, the last three: customers, partners, and VC angels. Fantastic. We have our team. We have a great team in place. We're not looking for new team members right now.
Yep.
Always looking for locations. So any kind of potential locations or growth partners, fantastic. Yep. That would be really interesting to have a conversation around that.
Brilliant. Well, please, if you're watching this and you are, please do get in touch with Matt. We'll share all the details below. So, well, with that, Matt, on behalf of the viewers, Action Coach, myself, I thank you, and I wish you all the very best for the future.
Thanks very much.
And when I'm passing by, there'll be some ciders in my boot.
Please pop in. Yeah. We'll sort you out.
Thanks, Matt.
Cheers. Bye.